Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Brian, along with my co-host, Kevin.
Hello.
And Waleed.
What's up, boys?
We are here to cover The Amazing Race, Episode 3. This is a mega leg. So, unfortunately, we do not have a conclusion, a team going home this week. We were talking pre-show. It was definitely a good episode, but lacked that the race. We want to see people get eliminated. We've said this a couple times. So I know it's to be continued, but we knew this going forward that there's 12 episodes, only 10 teams. So they're gonna have these days where somebody's not getting eliminated.
Dude, my issue with this is they've had hour and a half episodes prior to this. They've
Right.
done, you know what I mean? They couldn't have figured out the schedule of I get it. I get it. They wanted to get some airtime in with other shows and stuff, but just do the whole thing.
I agree. This could have been they could have saved this for Amazing Race had a 2-hour episode, or like you said, the hour and a half. I mean, this is how it's going to be. We knew we didn't know how they're going to do it, but this is the cards we were dealt.
Yeah, I mean, they really like. I mean, it's only an hour long, so they really like to take their time on these legs. On these roadblocks.
Yep.
The human anatomy quiz, and then later on the assembling of the Ducati motorcycle. I mean, it's they really spend 20 plus minutes on each of them, just watching these people struggle and struggle. It's really
bro. I mean, last episode was a prime. It was all right, let's
yodel.
People yodel for an hour and a half. Opposed to, you know what I mean? Like we couldn't have figured this out. All right, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, and
I'm happy to watch. But
yeah, the thing about the yodel though is it was one at a time. So at least this one you can bounce around between teams and stuff like that. But we'll get there. Okay, so they board a plane. They fly to Bologna, Italy, and they need to drive to the Arco del Melancello. I think that's how you pronounce it. And that's where they get their clue of what detour they're going to do. And this is kind of where I wanted to ask you guys. You had your option of head of class, or I think it's called the Big Cheese. Where would you guys have gone here? What would you have decided to do?
Me personally, I think I would have probably, because I have good memory, I would have probably picked the human anatomy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually think I would have too, because I don't think I would have known that there was those carts there available for the cheese. If I would have known that, I don't know. If I would have known that there was an 88-pound cheese thing, I would not want to fucking walk that around the fucking city that I don't know. You know what I mean? So I get it, but
yeah, I would want to do the anatomy, but the thing is, hearing the guy who was doing the class on it, hearing him pronounce some of these body parts, the way he was pronouncing the humerus, he was pronouncing it emers, and I'm that would have thrown me off though. So maybe I would have struggled a little bit.
That also being said, I was critical of them, you know what the humerus is. And when he points to it, he points to it. I would have put 2 and 2 together. Okay. He's saying the humorous.
But you got to look too while you're listening, so that's
right. And they were some of the teams were legit, just oh, I don't know. You said something with an E. No. It was definitely not that. All right.
After the 6th attempt, don't you think you would be all right, you focus on the bones, you listen for the bones. There need to be some strategy. Too many teams didn't finish in the time period. Just at that point, just slam blocks down.
Don't get me wrong, that would be hard.
I wouldn't do this challenge. I'm doing cheese 100%. I'm picking that cheese up. Yeah, I thought, to me, I'm always going to go strength over mind. That's just my opinion, but no one had issues with the cheese. All the teams that are in the top pretty much did the cheese.
I guess you're at a point there. So maybe I would have picked the cheese.
Well, at one point, the second team, the first team was going and they had a cart, and I missed how they got the cart. But
it was in the directions.
Right, but the second team was going and they were kind of struggling with it, and I was like, oh, dude, I don't know. If I didn't find that cart, I wouldn't be able to do it. That would be
I'm glad you said that, because really you need to read directions on the show, because Glenda and Lumumba, they didn't read the map, and it said you both, no matter what detour you decide, you need to drive to this location. So they wasted all this time walking around where they were, and this is why they're in last place. So
they like clearly skipped steps to get to like, all right, we'll figure it out. And then after struggling for a while, the small, like the short guy, right?
The Mamba.
Yeah, he was like, wait, it says right here up top. This is where we start. Oh, shit.
You gotta read.
And they figured it out immediately.
Yeah, but I mean, those two, they fell behind rather quickly and like deservedly so. They
100%.
At the front of they started at the front of the line and ended up at the back. I mean,
yeah, you just got to read. Like they set you up to not like so much advance. Like they give you a phone now. Like they're like you can drive this. Like there's no options of how to get somewhere. Like I watched the first season. I'm pretty sure they have a phone because at one point the army guys were like, "Hey, look it up where we need to go next."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I never.
I think that's
so. Could you like put GPS in?
I think. I mean, unless I'm wrong. I mean, if somebody's watching and I'm wrong, feel free to say it. But I'm pretty sure that the army guys were like, "Hey, look it up," because they were the first people at the wheel. But I mean, I watched the first season of the show completely. It's like getting places. It was up to you. Like now it's like or just read everything in the package they give you. We said that last season. You got to do it. I think it's like any show, you need to read all the directions. It's a staple.
In life, just in general.
Yeah, and
I mean,
think about how much time those guys had who were like wasting, doing tries, and like if they did 8 attempts, that's what an 8-minute lecture.
Yeah,
they were there for a while. So, after you.
At what point are you frustrated? At what point are you like?
Yeah.
After attempt number 3, are you like, F this? We should have went like the other way.
I'm surprised like no one switched.
Like I don't. That's the tough part.
But. Yeah, but the people who usually switched in the past usually were like they always end up like eliminating themselves basically at that point.
Yeah, it's not usually a smart move.
Usually they're pretty far apart.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is a close location where I guess you could do it, but
we're not on the show. We don't know. Even mentally, I would have trouble after probably 4, where it's just like, I don't care, dude. I've tried. Like I can't figure this out. You know, like I'm done. You know, like I at that point, I'm at my boiling point. I'm done. But.
So everyone has, to this point, has finished that detour, and they move on to the Ducati factory. And I actually thought this challenge was really cool. I'm not a big car or motorcycle guy, but I do think like doing the culture aspect of this is like where the main factory is that makes these motorcycles. It's cool that they got to do it. What did you guys think of this challenge? I thought it was pretty neat. And some of the guys had some serious advantage, especially that helicopter mechanic. He was over there just cranking that like.
Was there a reason why the one guy who was like, "Oh, I have this motorcycle, I know how to do all this stuff."
Why didn't he do it?
Yeah.
Well, he said that he pays for. He made a point where he was like, I'm not the type of guy that would do it. I'd pay somebody to fix it. So he doesn't. He has it, but he doesn't know how to fix things on it. Okay. So that's what
I thought. I thought this was probably the sickest challenge.
It was really cool. I thought they were gonna have to ride him in the beginning.
Dude, could you imagine?
Several doesn't drive it, and it's like they could be driving it, just like the wheels fall apart. You know, like on like SpongeBob, where they're driving something like all the like the car just falls apart as you go.
That would be pretty cool.
But my first impression was there's going to be somebody that has an issue with a lefty loosey righty tighty, and of course that did happen. Unfortunately, it was a girl, but for somebody like my background and what I do now is somebody who's like given tools that they've never used before. And like, I understand the frustration that she was going through. And like, I'm also not like a motorhead at all or anything like that, like a gearhead that I could just pick up on that. The most surprising one was the twin girl who just, dude, she
was awesome. Yeah,
killed it.
I was
like absolutely killed it.
I mean, and they took the hard path with both. They did the anatomy quiz, and then they did this. They knocked it out of the park, and now they're in like second place. So like, kudos to them. I'm like low key rooting for them.
Yeah, that's right. I think the pages. That's like the pages like group interest. So if your team's out, you're rooting for them.
Yeah,
pretty much. Sure. Didn't they like ace the quiz on the first try?
Yeah,
and then I mean this also comes back.
She had any denies on her 2 checks either. I don't know about the second one.
This is another thing.
He killed it. It was impressive.
You need to pay attention to detail. I mean, it's the same thing. Read directions, pay attention to detail, and the teams that did well did that. I mean, the Army guys were there for a while because he was like kind of tweaking up with the installing like the side panels.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to just give props to that. I said earlier that helicopter mechanic who was just like cranking that thing.
Dude, he was doing the double hand and I was like, oh, that's
sick.
That's not what he's doing. Yeah. But I felt bad. I felt so bad for that girl. That was like, it's like because she was doing what she needed to do, and then she just didn't know that the tool. All you had to do was switch it and make it a tighter.
Do you know what I mean? Would you still feel bad for her if she's from Big Brother?
No. Oh no, not at all. She deserved it.
She really gets stuck though. I mean,
I know.
She was about to go back and start yodeling.
I mean, I was just saying pre-show with Wally, like, at what point does Derek just take one of these challenges on its own? Like,
what are you doing, dude? Like,
I don't know.
We'll see if that kills them. I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row that they're like really taking on water. I'm sure they'll rebound in the second part, but I don't know. I don't think that's a good sign for future to come, in my opinion.
No, not at all.
Well, hopefully they all get out of Bologna, Italy soon. So
I mean, yeah. So
Bologna.
We were hit with the to be continued. So the second part of the Mega Leg will be next week. I'm enjoying the show. I'm happy about it. It's been great. I don't know, just been good. So
I have been enjoying it overall. This season, I've been enjoying. There's been other than last week, I think.
Yeah, I mean that was just scheduling.
Other than that, I'm all about it.
Yeah,
very behind it.
The lifting a little bit of COVID has been nice. Like they can,
dude, it's been a game changer. Mm-hmm. It really has.
Yeah,
like you see a little bit of mask play and like
here
and there, but I mean it's still good.
Yeah.
The one thing I kind of wanted to bring up was when, first of all, how dirty was that one trick by the anatomy guy when he lined up the two teams?
Yeah, and then I'm glad you brought this up. That guy was funny. He was just like,
I know.
I don't have anything on my desk, but he would just be like, at one point he just threw it on the desk. He didn't even say anything. He was like, you win. I was really enjoying that guy.
And then he lines them up and goes, "This is for you," and then goes, "And you get one too." Like. And then they all hug. But how awkward was it when they like went to go hug? They were upset. You could tell that first team was the front team was so pissed.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, God, it's son of a bitch. But it was good.
That guy was definitely the MVP of the episode.
Right.
Just like the dude, the dancing judge
dancing
judge from last episode. I just wonder where they find these guys.
DJ Ben or whatever.
Oh, DJ Ben was last season. I'm talking about the guy who was judging last week, who was like the buff guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Where do they find these guys? Yeah. They find like real characters. It's awesome.
Yeah, if we ever get Phil on, we'll have to be like, we don't care. We care about the show, but we want to know where you find these judges.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
All right. Well, this is a great episode. We'll be back next week for the second part of Mega Leg. For myself, Waleed, Kevin, thank you. Peace.